Hi, I'm Gursahib, and for this module, we were tasked with creating a terrain in Houdini. Here's a breakdown of my process. To begin, I spent time gathering references and brainstorming a theme for my project. I recently watched Dune Part 2 and was inspired to create something in a similar style. I decided on a desert environment with a castle at its center. Initially, I explored several references for castle and desert landscapes, but I wasn't satisfied with my first castle idea. After further research, I finally found a reference that I liked. Using that as inspiration, I created a concept illustration in Photoshop to get a clear visual direction before moving into Houdini. In Houdini, I started building my terrain using height field node. At first, I was still learning how height field works, so my early results were basic. As I became more familiar, I began using nodes such as height field noise, height field mask by feature, height field blur, height field pattern to add variation and details. Combining all these nodes with height field layer gave me the base terrain I wanted. To add more realism and detail, I split the train into four parts and populated with rocks and debris. I brought in rocks model via FBX and then scattered them using scatter, align, and attribute randomize nodes to make the scene look natural. Next, I focused on building the castle. I started with the line node and used point warp and revolve to create the basic shape. For additional details, I used a box combined with point wrangle, point warp, and point jitter to refine the form and give it more intricate and castle-like feel. I used Boolean operation and sphere to create holes and openings, and then added desert-like structures by converting geometry with VDB poly, manipulating it with volume warp, and duplicating shape to form the main structure. I also used curves and grids to block out additional architectural features. For wall detail, I applied a group expression node and used Boolean operation with box to carve out the window shapes. With part deform, I shaped the walls to match my reference, completing the overall look of the castle. I finally textured the scene, animated the camera, and ended my final shots. While I tried my best to make the result closely match my chosen reference, there are still areas I like to improve in the future. Thank you.